guys, it's John Barrett with Level Up Your Leadership. I'm going to help you with some visual lessons today on how to end a meeting. We've all been there where we're in a meeting and we've got all this talk, we've got all these things that we've covered, but when we walk away, nobody really knows what they're doing. Nobody really knows what the next steps are. Nobody really knows what we accomplished. We spent an hour or 2 hours or 3 hours in a meeting and we're walking away no better than we were before. So I want to talk to you about how to end a meeting effectively. If you're going to get the best out of your meetings, you not only have to have a great start, you got to have a great ending to the meeting. And if you don't end your meetings great, then you're never going to be able to move forward and get done what you need to get done. So first, let me kind of lay some groundwork here. Now, first of all, let me just say a word about meetings really quick. Meetings are vital. Now, I know some of you have a big opinion about meetings. Now, you may hate them, you may like them, you may, kind of like, I don't know, I don't like most of my meetings, and that depends on what it is. But listen, meetings are vital for progress. You cannot get to where you need to go unless you're getting together and you are meeting. Meetings are essential when everybody is there bringing something to the table. Now, let me say something about this. Not only is a meeting absolutely vital in order for you to move forward, you've got to understand this. You as the participant of this meeting, it is up to you to bring the energy. Now listen, this is so vital. If you don't bring energy to that meeting when you show up, meetings aren't going to be great. I see a lot of people that I talk to, they say, I just don't like to go in meetings. They're boring. We're not getting things done. And the first thing I say is this, well, what are you doing? Are you coming with a smile on your face? Or are you coming without energy? Are you prepped? Are you ready to go? Are you adding value to the meeting? When you show up, are you bringing what it is that you want to see in that meeting? So many people, what they do is they show up for meetings and they just reflect where everybody else is. And listen, if you really want to have a good meeting, then everybody's got to come to the table with some energy. So no matter where they're at, everybody on the team has got to come to the table with energy. That means you got to come prepped, you got to come ready to talk, you got to come ready to open up and add value to that meeting. Listen, the reason that we don't like meetings is not because meetings in and of themselves are bad. Meetings in and of themselves are just what they are. They're meetings. They're neither good nor bad. It's what you do with it that makes the difference. And most people don't like meetings because, number one, they're not bringing the right energy to it, so therefore they don't like it, or others are not bringing the right energy to it. Listen, when you got people that are bringing energy and you're bringing yourself fully present to the meeting, I promise you, you're going to have good meetings. In fact, there's a lot of organizations I work with, they have great meetings and they love their meetings because everybody is bringing energy and they're bringing energy and focus to the meeting and they're making things happen. So a little groundwork before we talk about how to end it is, first of all, how you start it. You got to start it great, right? You got to start it with energy. Now, once you've got that, here's the deal. How do you end a meeting? You're at the meeting, you're talking, you've had all kinds of conversation and that. How do we end this thing and that? I'm just going to give you a simple little thing, what I call the 3 W's. The 3 W's of how to end a meeting. Okay? So let's talk about this. You need to answer 3 questions. The 3 W's are 3 questions that you ask at the end of every single meeting. This is what you ask. Who does what by when? Who does what by when? Those are the 3 questions you've got to answer at the every end of every meeting. So the first one, let's kind of break it down, is this. Who? Who is going to be the people here that have responsibility into this meeting? You know and I know we've all been part of meetings where a project or a task or something gets thrown out and then it just falls right in the middle and hits the ground. It's kind of like playing volleyball. You ever do that where you're kind of hanging out, you're playing a game, maybe volleyball or that, and a ball comes between 2 people and they're like, it hits the ground and they're going, I thought you were going to get it. And they say, well, I thought you were going to do it. Well, I thought you were. And so the ball just hits the ground. So many tasks hit the ground and they just die down here. They just explode because nobody knew who the who was. If you don't know who the who is that has responsibility over what needs to be done, it's going to be really confusing. And there's no accountability. Nobody's going to know what to do when they come back because the who hasn't been clarified. So the first question you ask is who in this process of who does what by when. These 3 are vital. You can't leave one out. So clarify the who by name, literally by name. I mean, John, this is what you've got to do. Right? In fact, I like to do this. I like to go around the room and for everybody to answer for themselves. Who does what by when? So you are doing what by when? We'll talk about the what and the when here in a minute, but get everybody to give an account of what they're doing. Even if it's nothing, even if I have no responsibility. There's meetings that I've ended that in this who does what by when, where when I get to me, I say, me, John, I've got nothing to do. And I am going to come back next week and be prepared for the next step because I don't have anything, but I'm giving an account so that it's clear. How many times have you gotten back to a meeting and you said, hey, so-and-so, where are we at with this? And they said, me, I didn't know I was supposed to be doing that. I thought that was them. I thought you were going to do that. Oh, I didn't realize that was my responsibility. I thought we were just talking about it as a group. You get the point. You solve all that just by answering who. Who does what? Use names. You get people to engage and talk. Who does what? What is the what? You've got to have a what. Something urgent. Something that needs to be done. So what is the what? What are you asking that person to do? Now, this is where you need to get granular in this. So what is the next step? Just get people to clarify the next step. So many meetings, they're big meetings that I've seen, and you're talking about all kinds of different things, but nobody has really distilled that down into what's the next step. So therefore, the project never gets moved along because it's always these big things, right? Like, well, we just kind of need to figure out how we're going to move forward on that project, and this was good talk today. Let's talk about that next week. What was the what? What am I just supposed to sit on that and come back? So listen, get granular here. And what I mean by that is who? John, here's what I want you to do. Research 2 different softwares that we could use in this new process change and bring it back next week, which we'll talk about the when. But the what, that was specific. I just want you to research 2 ideas and bring them back to us. That's it. So get granular. It's not we need to make a decision on which project or which software we're going to use, and we need to get it done by Q3. All right, that's our task. And it's this grandiose thing. Then when you come back the next week, nobody's really moved forward in that. Maybe every now and then someone says, yeah, I kind of looked, but I still need some more time to develop. No, you start getting specific. I want you to research 2 different softwares that we could use for our CRM coming up in the next meeting, right? That you bring that back to the table. Bring us 2 ideas, right? So you get specific about the what. Get the next steps. I don't care what it is, even if it's almost nothing, right? John, I do what? I'm not doing anything for next week. I'm just going to think about what was said, and we're going to come back next week and have more conversation about it, right? That's a what. So make sure you clarify what the what is. The last one is when. When are you going to do this? This is where you put a deadline on this thing, and you give it a date. Hopefully you can see that down there. This is a date. The when. The when is vital. There's got to be deadlines on this. Not some big arbitrarily in the end of Q2, then we'll get to this. No. Get specific on the what and the when. Next week, what is it that you want to bring to the table? What is it that I need to have next week? Who does what by when? You've got to have the when. You've got to have hard deadlines to this stuff. Not you're going to bring it back next week or you're going to bring it back next month or next quarter when we bring it together. You'll have some ideas in that. No, be specific on the exact date. On the 10th when we meet next Monday, I want you to have this done. The who does what by when. You get the point. If you'll end your meetings like this, I'm telling you, it's going to revolutionize productivity. You're going to start seeing things get done because people will be held accountable. People will know exactly what it is. In fact, I'm a big fan at the end of the meeting to go around the room and say, okay, who does what by when? And literally have every person either answer for themselves or maybe the facilitator of the meeting just say, who is going to do what by when? What are you doing? When? And what's going to happen, all right? So go around the room and have everybody answer that. Write it down. I promise you, when you come back to that next meeting, someone's going to be way more accountable because they know exactly what they were supposed to bring to the table, who they were, and when it was due. I'm telling you, productivity is going to go up. Accountability goes through the roof. And if you got an issue with a team member that is not getting things done and moving things forward, when you keep calling him out and hold him accountable for that, because we've known for 3 weeks now that who is supposed to do what by when, and they're not coming to the table bringing it, you've got a whole lot more ammunition now to have that conversation for accountability, to begin to provide feedback and performance improvements and all those things. And if it's not working out at some point with someone on your team, I'm telling you, you can draw it out right there. you start holding them to the fire with that, and you're going to have ammunition to know what to do next steps with them so that you can have a case for going through this whole process to make sure you got the right people on the team. I promise you, if you got the right people on the team, they're going to bring the what, and they're going to have the wins done. They're going to step up to the plate to make it happen. So how do you end a meeting? The 3 W's. Who does what by when? You answer that question, it's going to change everything moving forward. Guys, go to johnbarrettleadership.com for more resources, and I hope to help level you up. Reach out to us today so we can help take you and your team to the next level.